Welcome to the Mentor Podcast, where the most highly motivated entrepreneurs come to get their weekly dose of financial stability with host Ron LeGrand, as well as other nationally recognized thought leaders who will teach you how to get, grow, and protect your wealth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the thementorpodcast.com. If you haven't subscribed already, go to that site, thementorpodcast.com, and then you will be alerted to the live broadcast every Wednesday. And you will also be able to go on the site and get hundreds of archived podcasts that I've done over the last few years. I have with me today Don Fowler in my never-ending quest to bring you guys ways to actually find qualified leads from sellers. And we are working with him to do just that for you, to try to make your life a little easier, generate more leads, but more qualified leads. So less calls, more deals. Don, how are you, sir? And why don't you tell us who you are and what you do and why you're so important?
Wonderful. Thank you, Ron, for having me. It really is an honor. So this is my second time on your podcast, and I said it on my first one, but you're the reason I'm in this business. So thank you, Ron, for having me. It's truly an honor.
You're welcome, sir. Glad to have you. And frankly, because this is your second, means that we're just updating information to stay current, which is a hard job in today's world, isn't it?
Absolutely. And a lot's changed since then. A lot of really exciting things for us have changed and for our partnership together and what we're doing. So I'm really excited to roll this out.
Okay.
What we do is we want to be the world-class, best-in-class data provider. And with data, it's always a challenge. But what we decided to do is make a very, very large capital investment in data. And so what we've done is we've bought all the data that we can possibly buy. So we've bought all the transaction history from 1980 to today, all of the current public records, all the data like vacancy data that we get a direct feed from daily from the United States Postal Service. And all of this data is now available to your users. But the key thing that we do with this data is we've also bought all the personal data. So census data, like all the Tiger data, demographic data, neighborhood information, crime stats, also all of the individual type data. So how much money do people make? What kind of car do they drive? Are they late on any of those payments? Yeah, it's absolutely.
Actually, that's kind of scary if you want to know the truth, but that's the world we're in right now. And I know you're an AI and that's really scary, but yeah, Ali, that's where we're going, whether we like it or not.
It's true, whether we like it or not. Data is out there. Your personal data is out there for sale. And we bought it. So we've bought data for everybody in America, all 50 states, every single house, every household, every individual in that household. So we have some really interesting data. And what we've decided to do, and we did this 4 years ago when we had a much smaller data set, we decided to put it into an AI genetic algorithm. So AI is very popular these days with ChatGPT and GPT-4. But we do it completely different. So we're not going to let the AI loose in the world and take over. They're not going to be our we're not going to be servants to them. But what we've decided to do is throw it in what's called a genetic algorithm. And we partnered with an unbelievable company. They all come from NASA, actually. So, and this algorithm was originated in NASA that we partnered with. So we came with all the data, and they came with this really incredible algorithm. And this algorithm is only getting smarter as time goes by and as we add more data. So when we started this 4 years ago, we would put all of this information into the AI algorithm, and we were getting a 5x lift on houses. So what we do, just to take a step back, is we score every single house in the country every month. And we score it 3 different ways. One, on the propensity that it's going to be listed by an agent. 2 is the propensity that it's going to sell, but it's a house that is perfect for a rental. So either it's a rental now or the neighborhood dictates that this is a good rental opportunity. And the third way, and the most exciting way, is distressed. So we call it our wholesale score. And this is where we feel the homeowner is in a situation where they need to sell their house right now. And this information and what we've done with it is we've really democratized it. This data is incredibly expensive. It costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. And
Wow.
it's absolutely incredible, the cost of the data. And we're a large company, and Ron, you're a large company. So the partnership here has really allowed us to deliver this at a very, very affordable cost. And it's data that most people can't get their hands on.
Well, Don, before you go any further, we have to recognize the fact that everybody watching is not familiar with artificial intelligence or AI.
Yes.
And frankly, it was a little hard for me to get my head around it in the beginning, and I'm still not all the way around it. But it's so incredible, amazing what this AI will do to that. For example, I was just reading before we got on here. We went on Chat GPT and asked it to write us a letter for us, given a little bit of information. It is incredible. The letter that it spit out was probably a better letter than I could write. And we didn't have to do anything but tell it what to do. I'm about to leave, strangely enough, heading for NASA, heading for Cape Canaveral tomorrow on an RV trip around Florida. And I asked it to plan my RV trip around Florida with me and gave it a few destinations that I know I want. Here it comes, just like that. The whole trip all scheduled for me. So this AI is definitely going to change the world, already has. And yes, there's concern about it. And yes, the politicians are looking at it. And yes, I'm okay with that, because if this thing gets out of control, God knows what can happen. But for our use, it sounds to me like you got so much data, a lot of it don't even apply to real estate, that this thing could go way beyond just helping us find sellers, but also apply to just about everything we do in life. For example, if I wanted some information on an individual, then this thing could get it for me. Is that correct?
It could. Our lawyers won't allow that, but it could.
Oh, okay. Well, you could have led with that. So our purpose here is to get more sellers, but I can assure you, you're going to find more uses for this thing as time goes on here. So, well, I'm going to let you finish, and then I'm going to hit you with some questions, man, because I'm thinking just like the folks that are watching thinking, and I can tell you about half of our listeners are old geezers like me. So be careful we don't get into fancy language that only the geeks would understand.
I'm not a spring chicken myself either, Ron. So,
oh crap, you ain't even got a good start, man.
I'm nearing 50, so I've got a decent start.
You poor thing.
But, yeah. What we do, and to make this really understandable, is it's just correlations. All the AI is doing is looking for correlations. So let me give you a real world example.
Right.
So let's say 3 years ago, somebody has their mother-in-law living with them, and their mother-in-law has an income. So we see that she has an income. So it's a three income household. And that mother-in-law does a change of address to a nursing home. Right. So that now homeowner just lost some income. They have to pay more now for the nursing home, presumably. Let's say the same homeowner is late on their truck payment. Right. So they're late on that. They've got some other bad things happening in their lives. They're letting everything kind of slip, and the computer will see that. Mm-hmm. And the computer, well, so we're looking back in the past. So 3 years ago, this happened. And we see that homeowner had to sell at a discount, and then that same house sold for a profit within 18 months. Mm-hmm. So that same exact house sold. And so that was some type of flip, whether it was a fix and flip or a wholesale deal, whatever it was a distressed sale when that happened. And the computer then will look at today's world right now and say, wow, this person right now today, their mother-in-law just moved to a nursing home. They're late on their truck payment, and they've got these 30 other bad things happening in their life. Well, this house will have a very high propensity to sell at the same time frame that the other house sold. So these bad events don't necessarily mean that they're going to sell right now. It could mean that, hey, they've got to let this harbor for 3, 6, 9 months. The computer will do that calculation. So you may see somebody that's facing this issue, but the score might be 200. So we score every house from 0 to 1,000. The higher the score, the higher the propensity that it's going to sell in the next 90 days. Mm-hmm. So the computer will track this person based on historical data that the computer's seen. And it'll automatically score that property. It'll take it from 200 to maybe 890, right when that sweet spot is that the time that the computer is saying, hey, now the rubber's hit the road with this particular homeowner. They need to sell. So that's the way to look at our AI. Yeah.
So it can tell that the homeowner's probably in trouble simply because of other activities that are going on in their life with other debt and maybe even the one on the house. And so what we got to do is, well, we should probably pick an area that we want to work in. And it sounds to me like then all we got to do is take the top percentage or so and mail to them and quit worrying about what their motivation is.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Because the AI has pulled in millions and millions of data points to arrive at the top percentage of that list. And so it really is just that simple. We just got to figure out what to mail to them. And I bet you got the answer to that too, don't you? Huh?
Yeah, I do. And it's not millions, by the way. It's nearly 500 billion data that we have.
Christmas. I can't even think that big. I'm not in Congress. I can't even think that big.
Oh, you took my joke. You took my joke.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't even have to think anymore. What do I want to target? What list do I need to mail to? Like as if I knew the answer anyway. I'm just guessing. So in this case, basically, AI has done the job for me. I mean, is it really that simple? Okay. I mean, what do I mail to them? Just that I want to buy your house, type letter?
Exactly. So I think that before you do that, you also want to define your buy box. So we have a platform, and with your help, Ron. So we have a platform that has over 100 filters where you can really filter down to your buy box. So whether it's the sale price, the year bill, the lot size, the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, the construction, all of those types of filters you'll want to do first. We also have different filters like absentee owners and if they're behind on their taxes, all of the equity positions that we have. So you're going to want to really tighten down that buy box and then leverage the scoring.
Maybe. All right. I got a counterpoint to that. All right.
Okay, please.
You're trying to get me back into where I have to think again. And I have to guess because that's all they're doing. Okay. And we both know that's all they're doing. They're guessing at what list will work better because they heard somebody doing well with X list. From what I see, I don't care what their motivation is. And I don't care if they're in a crack area all the way up to a multi-million-dollar house because we can deal with all of them. There's always wholesaling in there to wholesale the junk, no matter where it's at. So I'm thinking, I just pick my area, pick the top. What do you think? 1%? Start there maybe and see how many's in it?
Exactly. So the platform, the way it's constructed is you can just type in, I just want to see 900 and up scores or 700 and up scores. And you're going to want to look, your first thing is probably how many properties do I want to target? If that's 50 or 5,000. So whatever that number is, then you're going to just basically peel the top scoring right up the cream off the top, if you will.
All right. That's not the way I'd do it. I'd pick my area. Okay. I want people to farm their area. And if I just pick the top 1%, I can't get that big of a list of people that are in trouble. And then if I do, then I can always start narrowing it down by putting in those selection factors, right? For example,
absolutely. I
want a minimum square feet of $800 or $900,000 or give or take, and on a minimum of 2 bedrooms, minimum of 2 baths, whatever. Okay, I wouldn't do any of that, to be honest with you, because you never know what you're going to get. And some of the properties that you're screening out are probably some of the best deals that are going to come at you that you're going to miss by trying to get too selective because you got that thinker brain mentality, which a lot of my students have, Ron. Okay. I want it as simple as possible. So I really want to take the much as analysis out of it as you possibly can and make it simple. So now really all I got to do is mail a postcard. And so, if I get 10,000 names, which I don't think would be likely if I'm picking an island, let's say a city of 1 million people, your best guess, if I just take the top 1%, or can you make a guess?
Yeah, I can make a guess. I'm down in Broward County, and I just did a search right before this call. We have 680,000 residents here in Broward County.
Yeah.
And when I do 900 and up, it drops it to about 6,000. So yep, exactly.
Perfect. So you mail 6,000 postcards. You hit them all. What's it cost to mail a postcard with you?
49 cents for
it cost me $3,000 to hit 6,000 people. Yeah. So if I hit 6,000 people that are in their top 1%, there's very little chance I'm not going to get some calls, because I'm not just mailing to the phone book. I'm mailing to the ones that AI have selected using trillions or 500 billion pieces of information, as you say. I like that. That is very, very cool. And that is very targeted. And that's, of course, one of our big objectives is try to target. So we have to mail less. Okay, so I don't mail. I mail 3,000 this week and see what happens. And a couple of weeks later, mail 3,000 more, or 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever my budget will allow. And honestly, it is just that simple. As long as but let me make one point. I try to teach folks coming in, Don, not to go throwing a bunch of money at generating leads unless they're able to handle the calls when they get them, or they're just going to waste their money. So assuming you guys watching this know how to make that closing call and have got my scripts, then it's time to ramp it up. And here's your opportunity to spend whatever your budget will allow to generate good quality leads. And it's all about quality leads versus quantity leads. Okay. And these are definitely quality leads. All right. So take it from there. I mean, I'm excited about this. I'm wondering why I'm not doing this. I'm going to take this recording and send it to my acquisitionist. That I can promise you. And
please.
Yeah.
Good.
Because I bought several houses already this year. We're just cranking it right back up after I found me an acquisitionist. So I'm going to be doing this stuff, not just interviewing folks to teach all you guys how to do it.
Exactly. And what we do to really drive the cost down for your students, Ron, is we let them pick 5 zip codes, and they can get another as many as they want.
Perfect.
And what we have built into the platform, if you're uncertain on which 5 zip codes you could pick, we have a new feed that's brand new, Ron. I don't think you know about this yet. It's called Active Flippers. So you can do a search before you pick your zip codes. You can do a search and see where all the active wholesale deals or active fix and flip deals are happening in your town or in the town that you want to invest in.
Well, I'm looking for wholesalers that I can buy a house from that they have in their contract. Is that what I'm looking for?
You can absolutely use it that way. But for somebody new and they're not certain what that sweet spot of where all the activity is happening, then they can use that filter, the active flips, and look to see where that activity is happening. What section of town are those active flips happening? Because typically, it's in a 3-2, a working person's neighborhood is where most of that's happening.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Low priced houses. But again, I would say to you, I don't care where they're at. I'll take them from anywhere around town. I don't care where they're at. As long as I know they're motivated and they've been pre-selected. Again, I don't care if they got in fact, I hope they have $1 million house, because I'm going to go in there and buy it on terms with as little money as possible and put somebody in it, 6-figure non-refundable deposits out of them. In fact, I want to make sure I mail to some of those folks. I want the higher end houses along with the junk. We do wholesaling and we do terms deals, and some of them do rehab deals. So again, I know you're used to telling everybody how to get selective. I'm telling everybody, quit getting selective, quit thinking, and just pick an area, for crying out loud, and keep mailing to that area. Because with this list, it's going to be hard for me to see, you're going to get some good response. But I wouldn't do 6,000 at a time, though, using your example, because you might not be prepared for that. Plus, you're risking $3,000, and that might scare the crap out of you. So risk 1,000, mail 2,000 postcards, and you got the postcards, don't you?
We do. Yep. We have plenty of postcards. If somebody has their own postcard and they like it and love it, they can just upload it. We don't charge anything for that. We'll upload it into our platform and they can mail that postcard at 49 cents a piece. If they want to test, I don't know why anyone would want to do this, but if they just wanted to send one postcard, it's literally 49 cents. There's no extra charge.
What size card is that?
4x6.
Okay. What if I want to send a 6x9?
That's 69 cents.
So
5x8, or I'm sorry. It's 59 cents for a 6x9. A 5x8 is 69 cents, and then a letter, 10 cents more, and then a letter is 89 cents.
Okay, so if I want to mail yellow letters, you could do that for me as well.
Absolutely,
right?
We've got them completely preloaded in there.
All right. Well, I want you guys to start testing with postcards, because the truth is, if you can't get any response with postcards, I don't think you're going to get any with letters. But I'm still thinking the chances are very slim with this very carefully selected list. You're not going to get any response. Just make sure you drive these calls to Pat Live now so you don't lose these calls. Can't impress the point. Make sure they're answered 24 hours a day. Believe it or not, people do call at 2 a.m. in the morning. You know, some people actually have to work in the middle of the night. And some people have issues trying to keep them up at night. And let's not try to second guess all of that. I've been doing marketing for as long as I can remember. And we used to do TV commercials, and it just amazed me. First of all, about 10 to 15% of the people who call don't buy anything. And yet there's the product and there's the amount right on the screen. Why on earth are they calling? I have never got the answer to that question. Why are they calling? I don't know. And then why do they call in the middle of the night? I mean, you wouldn't think anybody would do that. So don't second guess all. And that's why I want a phone answer 24 hours a day. It's all set up for you. You just got to use it. They take the call. They get a few facts on the house, send it to you immediately. And then you can send that to our VA to call and get the PI sheet filled out, or you can call them yourself till you figure out why you want the PA to do it. Either way, instant follow-up is critical, guys and gals. Follow up immediately. The quicker you can get back to that customer, the better off you are. So when you mail a postcard and they call Pat Live, you should be on the phone with them that day until you get an acquisitionist, and that becomes their job. So you got all kinds of mail, and going on your site, of course, they can see all that mail. But here we go again, guys. There's no such thing as a perfect mail piece. The important part is that you get it in the mail and let them know you buy houses and why they should call you. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how pretty the piece is. And frankly, you can test and test and test and test and test. Look, I've been testing for 40 years. I'm tired of testing. Just get something in the mail that tells them what you do, and it triggers them to call. And by the way, if that list works reasonably well the first time, I'd hit the same list again with another postcard and until it don't work. And that's the old direct mail adage. You keep mailing until it don't work anymore. Sequential mailing. After you find out, if you mail 3,000 cards, you don't get a single call, then you definitely need to change the list. All right, Don, tell me again, what is this going to cost me? And, you just tell me what it's going to cost, because that's what everybody's wondering right now.
So our normal charge right now today would be $600 a month for this. But you, Ron, you're a master negotiator, and you're really helping your students out an incredible amount. So for the first 3 months, it's only $100 a month. So you're going to pay it one time. So you're going to pay $300 one time, and that's going to be your only charge for the first 3 months. We want to show you the power of this in that first 3 months. And on month 4, it's only $200 a month. So you're getting a 66% discount off of our normal price.
Well, thank you, sir. Just point out now, that did not include the cost of any mail I want to do. That's just that is really, really cheap. Has anybody ever told you that before? Okay. Yeah. Never mind. You don't have to answer that.
We really want to democratize this data. It's incredibly expensive. The average investor can't do this. I can't afford this, obviously. So we're trying to get it out there. We do limit the number of people per zip code. So there might be an area or two that we've already maxed out, and we want to do that so that when you do mail, that they're only getting your mail, right? So we want to make sure this is a prosperous event for you.
So as soon as I sign up and to tell you where I want to mail, you'll tell me if there's any issues. But gosh, there's a lot of zip codes. I mean, got a ton of them here in Jacksonville. Don't have to mail all of them. So I get 5 zip codes, right? So I got to pick
Exactly.
the zip codes now. Now you're making me pick again. All right. So what
I
if I
told
want
you,
10 zip? What if I want 10 zip codes?
we'll sell you another 5 zip codes for $100 a month. So
Okay.
an extra 5, you get it's an extra $100, and you pick how many you want.
So for $200 a month and soon $300 a month, I can get 10 zip codes. Okay.
Exactly.
That's a lot of people. And of course, that is going to narrow that number down. So really all I got to do is pick my 5 or 10 zip codes and get on there and pick a postcard I like. And in that light, now, guys, remember, you're mailing to people with different kinds of problems now. So don't be mailing a foreclosure postcard to people that might not be in foreclosure. I don't ever mail anything that identifies the fact that I know they're in trouble. That's not a smart move. You don't mail something and say, I know you're in foreclosure. No. Let me steal your house. Because that's what they'll be thinking.
Right.
No, the message is, I want to buy your house. Other than that, as far as they're concerned, you don't know anything else about them. And you'll learn this as you get the PI sheet filled out and you make the closing call. So again, gosh, I even hate to make them pick their zip codes, Don. I mean, that means they got to actually think, and that bothers me.
We can do it nationwide. It's just incredibly expensive. So that's the problem.
No, you don't want to do it nationwide. Frankly, 10 zip codes will probably won't cover Jacksonville, but it'll certainly give me plenty of people to mail to. So, all right, how do I get a hold of you and how to get signed up?
Yep. You go to the mentorpodcast.com/leads, LEADS.
Okay. And that's all I got to do is sign up and pay my first month's thing a minute, and I can quit anytime.
Absolutely. Quit anytime. And they're not paying me, by the way. So they're actually paying you, Ron. So the really nice thing is you're working, the student, are working with a trusted partner in Ron.
Yeah. Okay. And for you guys that listen and have been trained, this is ronsdealfinder.com. We're just giving you the mentor so we know that how many of you came through this podcast, but you're going to wind up in the same place. All right, man.
One thing I do want to mention, Ron, before we go, is after you have that lead sheet and you've talked to the homeowner, you can actually run comps in this platform too. We have all the active listings. Yep, we have all the active listings, pending, sold. We have an incredible comp engine. It's actually probably one of the best things that we do is run nationwide comps anywhere you're at. So you don't need an agent now. You can do all that yourself. Where
do your comps come from?
They come from the MLS, and they also come from public records in non-disclosure states. Yep.
Yeah. So now I got Dreams, and then I got you, and we compare the both. Yeah, and your database is probably larger, I'd be my guess, of comps. But frankly, we only need 2 comps that are apples to apples, and we got all we need. But good to have more, honestly. What about non-disclosure states like, I don't know, Texas, for example?
Exactly. Yeah. So with Texas, we get MLS data. And that's, unfortunately, you're in Texas, you're reliant on what the agent says. So if the agent keys it in wrong, then that's going to be a wrong data set. And then on other ones where we don't have the agent, this is also really cool, Ron. So when there's no data, it was a sold house that was never recorded through the MLS. We actually have this really cool algorithm that gives a very, very close approximation of what that house sold for. Yep, it's really interesting stuff that we're doing. We have AVMs built in as well. That's incredibly accurate. It's basically like a Zestimate on steroids.
What AVM means?
It's a Zestimate on steroids. So it's a very, very accurate way that we're determining what the value of that house is right now.
Good. Wow. Well, frankly, I don't know why everybody watching this wouldn't get on this path if they have any inclination they're going to buy a house. It's kind of foolish not to. We will be using it before the weekend is up. I can assure you of that. So I'm glad to get back with you again because, it's been a long time. We kind of lost touch and I should have been promoting you more than I have been, but my fault. That'll stop now.
I won't hold it against you, Brian.
Okay. By the way, you and I ought to do a webinar where you get a chance to demonstrate this stuff as well.
I would love to. The demonstration is absolutely incredible. And I highly recommend everyone to go sign up, take a look at it. You're going to be impressed. I can absolutely guarantee you.
The Mentor Podcast /leads, LEADS. Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
It really was an honor. Thank you.
You've contributed a lot. So guys, take advantage of that right now and get to work. And you guys got great customer service department as well, because they're definitely going to have questions, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Your phone number, just pick up the phone and call us.
Thank you. All right, you guys. See you on the next Mentor Podcast.
That's all for this edition of the Mentor Podcast. To connect with Ron and learn how you can attain financial freedom, as well as up-to-date strategies to grow and protect your wealth based on today's discussion, go to www.connectwiththementor.com.